This video introduces the Dart DevTools Layout Explorer prototype, an enhancement designed to improve user engagement and Flutter adoption. The video will provide an overview, understand the user experience objective, review typical user knowledge, and discuss tooling improvements. A common issue is the render overflow error, which affects users of all experience levels with flex factor and UI layout overflow. This video offers tooling solutions to increase understanding and decrease frustration. Typical users often have low awareness of overflow creation and struggle to identify the issue in the Layout Details tab or the simulator. Finding the error in DevTools is often difficult, and better explanations are needed for issue resolution and learning. The objective is to analyze user journeys when debugging the common RenderFlex overflow error. By understanding workflows across different skill levels, we can improve tooling, foster better understanding of the Flexbox layout, and enhance user satisfaction and Flutter adoption. The target audience is categorized by 3 typical user workflows: expert, somewhat experienced, and inexperienced. These reflect varying levels of familiarity with Dart, Flutter, and Flex layout concepts. The typical user resolution pattern involves writing code, running the app to find an error, and resolving the error, such as a render overflow issue, using a flex factor resolution. The path is complex and requires a deep dive. Tooling goals include helping users recognize and understand default flex factors, how changing them affects layout, and allowing easy examination of widget sizes to identify overflow sources. We will now take a deep dive into user workflows to achieve overflow resolution for expert, somewhat experienced, and inexperienced personas, as all levels struggle with the flex factor and UI layout overflow. The average workflow for error resolution includes writing code, encountering an overflow error, troubleshooting, research using Dart DevTools or external resources, fixing, publishing, and reviewing. The expert user's workflow involves writing code, encountering an error, utilizing Dart DevTools, updating the flex factor, and quickly resolving the issue with minimal trial and error. The somewhat experienced user is new to Dart/Flutter, but familiar with concepts like Flexbox. They encounter the error and require 2 or more attempts, using Dart DevTools and resources to find a resolution. The Layout Explorer would greatly improve their experience. The inexperienced user is new to development and struggles with error messages. Their workflow involves multiple cycles of writing code, errors, attempts at resolution using various tools and online searches, often leading to frustration before reaching success. Our deep dive into user workflows for overflow resolution focuses on the journeys of the somewhat experienced and inexperienced users toward a working solution. A deep dive into the somewhat experienced user's workflow highlights key areas of conceptual challenge, including Flexbox factor, Dart DevTools usage, and understanding parent/child restraints. Somewhat experienced users rely on common resources like Stack Overflow, GitHub Issue Tracker, Flutter Code Labs, and cookbooks to work through errors. This scene provides a deep dive into the inexperienced user's workflow and the resources they use while trying to resolve the common render overflow error. Inexperienced users expect quick solutions from tooling and error messages. Instead, they are often confused by the console, Flutter Inspector, Flutter Outline, and Dart DevTools, leading to external searching without full context. Inexperienced users often confuse the minimal yet significant differences between the Flutter Inspector and Flutter Outline in IntelliJ, which leads to a negative impression of error resolution. Users expect a Chrome developer tools-like experience, resolving issues in real time. They are unable to use the same techniques and feel confused, sometimes thinking code edits are happening without their input due to toggling between tools. Inexperienced users are confused about when and how to use the Flutter Inspector versus the Flutter Outline, constantly toggling between the two, trying to find a tool to visualize the overflow issue, expecting an experience similar to Chrome developer tools. The inexperienced user expects to find a perfect sample resolution in Flutter Code Labs. Their experience is often trial and error, as they cannot find a direct solution and struggle to apply altered code samples due to limited understanding. The inexperienced user's workflow analysis shows that Flexbox factor and parent/child restraints are significant areas of difficulty, while Dart DevTools usage is low. Inexperienced users utilize resources like Stack Overflow, GitHub, and Code Labs, but struggle to find a straightforward resolution for the render overflow error within the available documentation. Inexperienced users expect quick resolution using IDE tools like the console and Flutter inspector. However, they struggle to find and launch the tools, make incorrect assumptions based on Chrome developer tools, and are surprised but unclear about the Layout Explorer. The inexperienced user finds the console confusing and unhelpful, struggles to find the Layout Explorer, and is unable to resolve the error with the current context provided within the IDE and DevTools. The inexperienced user, with assistance, eventually found the expected method of stepping through code and seeing elements selected in the simulator using Dart DevTools, a function they had expected in the Flutter Outline tab. The Layout Explorer is a new, unknown tool to them. Users were happily surprised to discover the Layout Explorer after trying to step through code in the Details tree. Much prompting was needed to use the Select Widget Mode and Layout Details tabs to launch and utilize the tool. DevTooling goals for inexperienced users include helping them visualize errors, easily examine widget sizes, understand flex factors, and recognize the relationship between flex factors and constraints. The Layout Explorer and Dart DevTools are essential for all users, offering contextual and visual tooling to step through code and resolve UI layout error messages. The user was happily surprised to discover the Layout Explorer after trying to step through code in the Details tree. They needed prompting to use the Select Widget Mode and Layout Details tabs to launch and use the tool. The Layout Explorer prototype visualizes and contextualizes the flex factor. The inexperienced user was highly satisfied, solving their overflow error with a better understanding after using the tool. The Layout Explorer visualizes and contextualizes the main axis. Its inviting nature encourages users to experiment, deepening their understanding of core layout concepts like flex factor and main/cross-axis. Visualizing and contextualizing the cross-axis with the Layout Explorer helped the inexperienced user overcome prior confusion. The tool was deemed, quote, fun and engaging, encouraging experimentation and learning about the cross-axis relationship to layout. This section outlines suggestions to improve the Layout Explorer workflow within the IntelliJ IDE. A proposal suggests adding new icons to the current IntelliJ top toolbar to increase the discoverability of the Layout Explorer and Dart DevTools, addressing the concern that these tools are hard to find. A direct Layout Explorer icon is proposed for the bottom of the IDE. This would launch DevTools with the Layout Explorer engaged, improving discoverability for inexperienced users who struggle to find the existing Dart icon. Adding DevTools and Layout Explorer options to the main menu bar will increase discoverability, especially for new users who often hunt for the launch location. These options should be enabled when a Flutter app is running. Further suggestions for improving discoverability include adding Layout Explorer menu items and console options. Onboarding improvements should announce major UI changes, explain how the Layout Explorer tackles the render overflow error and flex factor, and demonstrate how to apply code fixes from the tool. We will now discuss the initial user reactions to the synergy between Hot UI and the Layout Explorer. This scene covers the initial user reactions to the working Layout Explorer prototype and Hot UI from December 2019. Initial reaction at Flutter Interact was overwhelmingly positive. The tool is in alpha, limiting real user experience, but current feedback is full of positive comments, indicating excitement and anticipation.